if you're in a position where you have multiple programs in your portfolio that you're sort of planning the clinic for, then thinking about portfolio prioritization and the relative merits of those programs against this is going to be an important thing for you to do. And the key things there to distinguish between them will be both, obviously, if there's a modality difference between small molecule and biologic, you're probably going to go towards the biologic. But also, if there's a number of different indications that you can go after, you'll probably change the order in which you'll think about them. So say you had something that is likely to be in the inflammatory dermatology space, you probably wouldn't start anymore with something that's a little bit smaller, for example, hidradenitis suppurativa. You might go straight into something that's a little bit larger, like psoriasis. But there's also an unmet need question here. And it's really important to continue to contextualize your decisions against the competition and be able to differentiate for that market. So this is not an instead of all the considerations that people often don't spend enough time on anyway. This is as well. If you're thinking about it on an asset by asset basis, not only thinking about getting that first indication right, but also thinking about clinical development planning. So historically, there's been some incentive to generate US data earlier on, despite the fact that that's usually a bit more costly, because it's favoured by the regulators, and therefore biopharma acquirers are interested in having US data. Now, there may well be a benefit to having a development strategy which prioritizes your first indication entirely outside the US, not starting the clock necessarily in the US until you have your next one up and running. Equally, you may want to run multiple programs and multiple indications in parallel. Now, at the moment, we don't finance biotech companies for that sort of risk. So there's going to be a really interesting knock-on effect for the venture capital community as well.